RDP Promotions. I said, nope, I got to get there and get that interview. And we literally went there right after softball. The three of us, Big Red Rob and JT and myself, we rode over to Euros after our games in uniform. And after a brief nap of myself in the car and lunch at Jimmy John's, the official sponsor of Brock Lesnar. We walked across the lot and got to spend a couple hours with Snitsky and the Sandman.
The funny guy.
He's freaking hilarious. Running up and down the plaza trying to get people to come in and sign autographs. So, it didn't help that it was like a torrential monsoon downpour out in the parking lot.
Yeah, and pretty cold too.
Yeah, so it didn't help. So, better, brighter, sunnier future for RDP Promotions and ESS Promotions. Hopefully, when they do some signings, because unfortunately, it just seemed like a lot of the average fans they take buses everywhere. A lot of them don't drive or they carpool, and then you get really crappy weather like this, and who wants to wait on a bus stop?
How far do they walk?
Especially in Staten Island, where just because it says the bus is coming doesn't mean it's going to show up. So you could be standing there for an hour in the rain. So, who the hell wants that? But without that, let's see. We got we had covered a lot of stuff already in a short amount of time. But we do have UWA Elite Wrestling 15-year anniversary show that took place on Friday night in Sayreville, New Jersey. So let's go over that matchup. I'd like to thank Dave Swan, the president and owner of UWA Elite, for always inviting Damage 365 Radio to his shows. Unfortunately, a lot of times we just can't make them, either scheduling conflicts or weddings or who knows. We always feel like there's something. And I get mad because I want to go to this show because they're literally 10 minutes from the house. Whether they're in Sayreville or in South River, they're like 10 minutes from the house. So, I just don't want you to think we're ducking you, Dave. We're definitely not. But match number one was the number one contender 6-man elimination match that saw Mark Quinn, Joey Adams, Smiley, TJ Blade, Tommy Gunn, and Gran Akuma all battle it out. And it went down like this. Mark Quinn was eliminated by Smiley. Actually, let's go in order. TJ Blade was the first man eliminated by Mark Quinn. Tommy Gunn was eliminated by Gran Akuma. Then Mark Quinn was eliminated by Smiley. And Smiley was eliminated by Joey Adams, which saw Joey Adams and Gran Akuma, the last two, battle it out. And it was Joey Adams victorious, defeating Gran Akuma and winning the number one contender for the UWA Elite Heavyweight Championship strap. So congratulations to Joey Adams. Match number two saw special guest referee Low Life Louis Ramos, one half of the heavy hitters, recently in retirement. He was the special guest referee for the Trio Tag Championship match, which saw Kentucky Bred take on the champions Defiance. After a match that went back and forth with some cheating here and some cheating there, and it was a street match. People say, well, how do you cheat in the street? It's just 3-on-1s when the referees occupy. Just nonsense. But a bag of Legos got poured out in the ring, and we had some body slams on top of Legos, and not.
Doesn't sound.
Yeah, doesn't sound comfortable. But eventually, it was Defiance pinning a member of the Kentucky Bred after a spear on a pile of Legos. So
that had to hurt.
Yeah. So Defiance holds on to their Trio Tag Championships, and Kentucky Bred having a rough weekend.
With Lego prints on them.
Yeah, with Lego prints. They took a little brief intermission because they had to clean all the crap from that match with the broken chairs and sticks and cookie sheets and frying pans and.
Well, they were using everything.
Yeah, they're using everything. Anything they could find under the ring, they brought with them. But it was pretty funny. But what wasn't funny is at the end is that Kentucky Bred then jumped Low Life Louis Ramos, and that was just nonsense. And I'm sure this is not going to be the end. Retirement or not, Low Life Louis Ramos is not going to sit there and take that. So don't be surprised if we have a Steve Monster Mac sighting soon, and he goes there and takes out Kentucky Bred. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a brand new fraction and put together with Ramos being the manager and Monster Mac heading it, and maybe they'll bring in two guys and give Kentucky Bred a whooping.
Think they deserve it.
Beat them with that Confederate flag.
Oh.
Match number 3 when we came back from that short break was Nick Kay. He took on Sean Damage McNellis. After many chants of "you can't wrestle" and "you stink" and everything else from the crowd, Nick Kay shut them all up and pinned Sean McNellis with his version of Brock Lesnar's move, but I called it the F4.
The F4. It's
yes.
not as powerful?
Not as powerful. Nick Kay, not a 300-pound man, so we'll go with the F4.
The F4.
But victorious nonetheless. Match number 4 saw the I Championship up for grabs. Drake Chambers took on the champion Kyle the Beast in a match that was probably the best match of the entire card. I'm going to go on a whim and say it was the best match on the entire card. But Chambers beats the Beast, tames the Beast, rolling him up and becoming the new I Champion. But Kyle the Beast is a monster. For a big guy, he's probably one of the best wrestlers I've seen on the indie circuit. And Drake Chambers, a really, really good wrestler himself. It was a really good match, went back and forth, a lot of high impact moves. But it's a shame that after all that, you lose the match on a little roll-up pin. And that's it.
Roll-ups, they'll get you.
It's Kyle the Beast drops the title to Drake Chambers, the new I Champion. And we went into match number 5, where the UWA Tag Team Championships were up for grabs in a table match. It saw Brandon the Bull and John Rome, the Unstoppables. They took on Brandon Kirk and Jeff Cannonball, the champions, the Rogues. And this is another match that went back and forth. Went to the outside a couple of times. But when push came to shove, the longest reigning tag team champions, Brandon Kirk and Jeff Cannonball, the Rogues, were victorious with Kirk, what a pile driver from Kirk off the apron through the table.
Through a table.
And that was it. The bell was sounded. The table was broken. The Rogues maintain and retain the UWA Tag Team Championship. And we went to an intermission. And of course, we had to clean up.
And those guys definitely needed the intermission going through the table.
Match number 6. Sorry, Tag Team Turmoil match. Anybody doesn't know what this is? 2 teams start. And when a team's beat, another tag team comes in, and they keep going until the final tag team is victorious. There was 5 tag teams in all. It started off with Rude Boy Riley and Logan Black, the Scumbag Nation. They took on I Am the Color Red and Circuit. And it was Scumbag Nation victorious. King Tech and New Reality. King Tech and his partner, the team of New Reality. They also fell to Scumbag Nation. It happens.
It happens. Yes, it does.
But it was a team of Cypress, Big Dan Wynett. They defeated Scumbag Nation. And they took on Magic and Jeremiah the following. And a match to determine the number 1 contender for the Tag Team Championship. And shockingly, the Rogues came out and helped the following win the match. So here they are battling out for the number one contender to their titles, and they went out and helped the team win.
Do you know why? Maybe you think it's a better matchup?
Maybe they think it's an easier matchup. I don't know. But either way, Magic and Jeremiah were victorious with the help of the Rogues. And that tag team turmoil match was completed. And the following are the number one contenders for the UWA Tag Team Championship, which are held by the Rogues. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know what Jeff Cannonball and Brandon Kirk think half the time. I think Brandon's taking too many hits to the head, and Jeff. I don't even think Jeff thinks anymore. I think he just goes in there and just throws people around. He's a big boy. Too many. I think he's too many hard hits to his head from CZW. I don't know.
That'll do it to you though.
too many table matches, Jeff. But I do miss him coming to the ring. He used to come to the ring with a bag of Doritos and throw them at people. So I do miss that.
Cheddar cheese?
Yeah, the cheddar cheese ones. And then he used to have like orange fingers and he'd be licking them in the ring. It was kind of gross. Match number 7 saw Hedges take on Ace Jack. Ace Jack was part of the following. He was like their manager. But Ace Jack was victorious using the camel clutch submission move. So Ace Jack victorious over Hedges. Match number 8 saw the Garden State Gods, Eric Corvus and Mike Quest, take on the Wretched, Mike Massacre and John Bowes. And the Garden State Gods were victorious via disqualification when Bowes was disqualified for not listening to the referee after repeated warnings. And the referee finally stopped the match and then got thrown halfway across the ring to thank him for it. And the Garden State Gods were victorious. And it's only time before they're in the Tag Team Championship.
What were they being warned for?
Just, two of them being in the ring at once, getting out of the corner, who the legal man was in the ring, and it just got to the point where they weren't listening. The referee was counting and then warning them. They were getting pushed out of the way, and the referee just said, "Enough! I had it. I lost control of this match. It's over." So, and match number 9, the final match of the night, was for the UWA Heavyweight Championship, which saw the challenger Arcadia take on the champion First Class Brian Brass, and it was Brass victorious with a pinfall over Arcadia in a very good match. Brass victorious again, retaining his UWA Heavyweight Championship, and a 9-match card, which was just under, I'd say, 2 hours and 45 minutes. UWA Elite celebrated their 15th anniversary from backyard to Sayreville in 15 years. They put on a very, very good show, very organized, and always a good job. I mean, like I said, we wouldn't go to these matches if they were boring or out of control or not run well. But Dave Swan does a really good job, as does his entire roster. And they have a very loaded, loyal roster of guys that have been around for a little bit. They've been loyal to the company, and they do all the right things. So, they're like family. They came up together. They've been wrestling a long time together. And anybody who didn't listen to last week's show, we had Eric Corvus on the show. I would recommend listening to that show because you'll get a quick inside look at UWA Elite, where it started and where it is now, and they're very proud of where it's gone and where it's come from and where it is now, and it's a very good thing. So I'm proud of them. I'm proud of Dave Swan. Very soft-spoken guy, gentleman, but when he speaks to his guys before the events start, he has their undivided attention, and he means business. People like to knock other companies they don't know anything about. They'll take to like Facebook and talk crap, or just everybody does business different, but everybody's in the business for one reason: make money.
Make money.
Okay, and stay in business.